And we are going to hear from someone this morning who dared to make a dream a reality. He and Wendy came to the United States in 2003, and 2020 they have Pascuals Farm. Eliseo has a degree in economics, public administration, and agriculture, and they have three very handsome sons. Uh, a beautiful family, a beautiful home, and we are all excited to be going to their home for our holiday social. So, Eliseo, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell us your story.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my story with you. And I will start just reading a thing that I wrote this morning, or chasing a dream is a collective enterprise. A dream is pursued with and for the people, or against them, or at the expense of the people. So therefore, a dream comes from a far and impacts many people in a positive or a negative way. So sometimes a dream is for the benefit of the people. Sometimes a dream is to make life of the people worse. So we have to be clear on that. I will share some my background, my family background. I come from a very big family. We I have six brothers and eight sisters. So in total, we were 15 siblings. My mom, my dad. My dad passed away when I was only 6 years old. My mom passed away about
Mm.
14 years ago, but they always with us. And now we have we are only 12 uh, siblings. But we as a family, we have a tradition for over 50 years. We have an annual reunion that been going on for over 50 years. And this weekend, my family is have that meeting uh, on the we have that meeting at the beginning of November, which coincide with the foundation, let's say the family, because my mom and my father got married on October 31st,
Oh,
many years ago. And my mom passed away on October 31st too.
oh.
So we celebrate those two things at the same time. A little bit about my childhood. I grew up in a poor neighborhood in Santo Domingo. We just spent the time. School was close by. All the kids went to the same school. We just play around when we were not at school. But when I was 12 years old, I started doing some work. I started selling newspapers. And that was, I think, very something very important for me in the sense that selling newspaper allowed me to read the newspaper every day. So I was informed what's going on in the country and what was going on around the world. So it gave me a different perspective of kids of my age because they didn't have that opportunity. So in some way, that gave me some advantage uh, about how to understand what was going on in the country and also around the world. Uh, During my teenage years, there was an event that I consider was the turning point of my life. We have a huge hurricane on 1979. It almost devastated the country. And before the hurricane, a group of teenagers that live in the same neighborhood start um, organizing a refuge in the school when we that we attend. I was 11. Well, the hurricane came the day before we were supposed to start school, and I was start my 11th grade, and that really impacted me because I was part of a rescue brigade that we established as part of the refugee that we were running at the school. And that really opened my eyes because I understood that even though I came from a poor family, there were people that were in a very worse situation that we were, because at least we have a home, we have a place to stay, we have a school where to go, we have a family that support each other. But I have the opportunity to see people in a situation that I couldn't imagine. So that caught my attention, and I saw firsthand what really poverty and misery is, and how that changed people, how that changed perspective of people. I remember always a lady that she was living right next to a river, that if she couldn't live on time, she would be wiped away from from the place where she was. But she didn't want to go away to go to the refuge because she was afraid that she will lose these little things that she has in the house. So we have to find a way to move all her belongings to the refugee to be sure that she will be in a safe place. So that really worked on me, and in some way ignites that sparks of what's going on here, why things are in those in that way. So I started interested in what could we do to make things be different, and that opened my eyes and start looking for some answers to that and what to do. And in my country, one of the problems that we used to have more in that time was in the countryside with farmers, that they worked, they produce, but there was not a change of conservation, or not conservation, the way that they can manage their productions. There's no infrastructure, there's no way to process products. And I, when I was in school, I was very inclined to engineering, and there was a opportunity to study engineering in food process. And I thought that that was a way that I could do something for my country and for the people there. That we work processing some of the products that we get during this harvest, and that way we can prolong the life, and the farmers could have benefits from that, and people also benefit from that. But that didn't work it out, and I have the one opportunity to do other things. It was the opportunity to study agronomy. It was not where I was more oriented. That was my more a, I could say, a political decision than a that's something that I really want to do because I was passionate to do it. But I start the process. It was not easy to get to go to college there, and I have the opportunity to gain a scholarship uh, from the hold on a second. Okay. I got a scholarship from the Soviet Union to study agriculture, agronomy there, engineering. That was on 1982. I went to the Soviet Union in that year. And I don't know if you have heard about the French People University, Patricia Lumumba. It was named by Patricia Lumumba, and I attended college in 1982. I started studying there. I have an opportunity to meet people from about 106 country, and my experience on that was that almost everywhere the struggle were the same. So we have the opportunity to share story and to understand that it was not a particular problem for a person or for a country, that it was something that affect almost everybody, people from America, from Asia, from Africa, in less, let's say, measure from Europe. But it was almost the same. And I started studying agronomy. It was a 6-year program. And that when I really fell in love with agriculture, with production. I remember I was working on my thesis, and I have a friend from Mali in Africa, and he also were working with we were working on different crops, different studies, but he we went to the same research center to work. And he asked me to help him to prepare some field for one of his tests, for one of his experiment. And it was really a bad field. And we have to clean, we have to remove a lot of stands, do a lot of stuff to get that ready. And we plant peanuts there. We have some control field and other study field there. And I didn't visit him like for a month. And I didn't went back to the field for about a month. But when I came back and I saw the difference between what we found the first time when we were there and what I found when I came back, it just blew my mind. And I understood that I found my passion. So it was something that changed completely my perspective of what was agriculture. Uh, I finished college. After that, during that time, I can say that when the dream was born, when I first time thought I want to develop something, uh, I want to have a farm, I want to do something. And a friend of mine got me some products. He went during the summer vacation, he went to Spain. And my first project was about a mushroom farm. And he get me a kit to start from there. He got all what I need to start, and also a book uh, about how to develop the farm. I after that next year, I finished college and went back to Dominican Republic. Uh, can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, then the next year after that, I went back to Dominican Republic. During that time, that was on 1988. We had a lot of repression there, and by law was forbidden to go to any country, to the Soviet Union of any country related to the Soviet Union. Then I was, the police took me into custody when I came to Dominican Republic in the airport. And all my belongings just disappeared. Oh, most of them disappeared. And my kids to start the farm there was gone too. So I couldn't start the process. It was not too long. It just was for about 6, 8 hours that I have to sit there. They made interrogation and a lot of stuff, and they released me. But when I left, well, not all, but most of my things were already gone, and I couldn't find them. So I went to the Dominican Republic and start trying to find a job as engineer, but it was really difficult. It was at the end of the 1980s. The economy was really in bad shape, and there was nothing available. So I spent almost, well, 4 years unemployed. I could do something here and there, but anything substantial. And during that time, I just decided to go back to college. And that when I got my degree in public administration. And then I started working, but I couldn't start working in my field directly, but in a bank. There's a public bank, and they have a program for development. So I started working where I can provide financial assistance for farmers and also for uh, different industry. So that give me a range of opportunity to learn new things and understand how to finance, how to put together the financial piece of the project. And I spent many years working on that, but that as soon as I start working, my dream came back, and I start taking my first step in Dominican Republic to start the farm. Uh, in my family, part of the family was born in the countryside and the other part in the city. And one of my brother who was born in the countryside stayed there. We have some cacao plantation, as let's say, called that way. And my brother stayed there working on that. So I started contacting him and asking for some idea, and we start working together to develop the farm. I bought some land over there. It was like 2 hours from the city, and I used to go every Saturday. And also two of my brothers and one brother-in-law used to go with me, and we spent 5 years working on that, developing that. We went through a couple of things, but when things start going well, we got another hurricane, and that one destroyed the farm. Well, everything that we had planted, it was just gone, and we have to start over. But couple of years after that, the political situation there start getting a little bit in a way that I didn't like, and I'm start looking for options, and that when I decided to move out again from the country. That was in 2001. I moved to Charlotte, and I already was married. I got married on 1979, and uh, left to Charlotte on 2001. And Wendy joined on 2003, 2003. So our first son was born in Dominican Republic. The other two were born here in Charlotte. And as soon as I came, I started thinking about the possibility of having the farm. During that time, I started working with the friends. We start a real estate company and a construction company. Spent some year working on that, and then we start working at Camino. Wendy and I we start the project. We met Rossi Price, maybe you know him. We talked to him, he laid out his vision and was something that we were interested. Wendy spent a lot of time in Dominican Republic working in nonprofit work with refugee and in different things. And we just took the project and from scrap and put things together, and that's that. Then I start working in a bank here. And Wendy just took the project and keep developing the project. And on 2012, I left the bank where I was working and start my own company. I start providing services and financial services, real estate, some construction. And on 2014, a friend of mine approached to me and told me about some greenhouses that church had, because I tell everybody what was my dream, because it's something that I want to do, and I saw the potential, and I tried to engage people on that. So that friend told me about that church, that they have some greenhouses. They were doing nothing with them, and they were willing to lend them to me just to use it. I start doing that. They start growing. It was really, it started very well, and we start growing things. But like a year after we started, they there was some disagreement with the church, and they one part want me to stay, another part didn't want me to stay, so I just left. And but my dream was there, and I knew that time will come when I will get to that point. So on 2018, I was working with a customer. They want to buy some land to build a small community. I found some land for them, and they liked the land, and they bought the land. But when they tried to develop the project, they saw that was not got effective, because there's some buffer area in the land that they couldn't use it. So they cannot have enough lots that make the project profitable. So they decided to sell the land and say, okay, if you're selling it, I can buy it, because that will be perfect for me. And I got some saving, I knocked some door, got some loans, and I bought the lands. The first 2 years, we didn't do that much because didn't have the resources. We have to start getting things. But during the pandemic, we start cleaning and working there. So we got those 5 acres. We got a grant to build a high tunnel. We start working on that. Then we got some recycled pallets. We start building raised beds. We got a container and we start putting things together. So the next step was start dreaming about the house and the chickens. Well, the chickens first. We start building the chicken coops, bringing the chickens, and then on 2022, we start building the house. It was really hard for us to be moving back and forth and working there. So we decided to move in and build a house. We start building the house. We built the greenhouse, the house, and on 2023, on September, a couple of months ago, we moved in the house and really started project the way that we design. And our philosophy in the project is that we want to create a space where people can be close to nature, to know, especially kids, where the food comes from, and do that in a responsible way. That we are not against the use of chemical in agriculture, but we understand that that have to be done responsibly. That you don't need to use things that you know that will harm the environment and also will harm people. There's a lot of way that you can have a healthy crops using what nature can bring to you and provided some support from outside, but not in a way that will be harmful for anybody. And we think and we believe that education, that we have to educate people about
Yes.
food, about production, that people have to understand that if it is our planet, we have to take care of him and he will take care of us. And the way that we do it is using the resources that the planet can provide to us and put it back to the planet. So we can do the full cycle and get what we need and keep what we have to keep getting what we need. So that is our philosophy. And we want people to be involved. We want to educate people. We want to, as I said, especially children, that we can give the children the opportunity to create that liaison between them and nature. And they see that the food that they eat don't come from the supermarket shelf, that they come from the land, from the soil, and that they need to understand that they need to to take care of that, to be sure that in the future they also will have a sources where they can get healthy food. So we want people to be involved as volunteers. We want people to be involved as customers. And we want people to be involved in any way that they can do. So we invite you to be part of that dream, to bring, because as I said at the beginning, a dream is something that involves a lot of people. It's not only the ones who is dreaming. It's everybody that is around, that people who will be that will benefit from that dream, or people that will be hurt by that dream. So we need to be clear on that. And so we invite you to be part of us, to be agent of us, to let the people know that we are what we are about, what our dream is, and how they can be involved. Also, one element that we want to add to that is that food, food and culture go together. And we want to also be a cultural center for many people, where food will be the center of the gathering, where people can enjoy a good food, a good meal, and socialize with other people. They don't need to think alike. They could think different, but they can have a space where they can share those differences and see what commonality they have. And no better way doing that than with a meal in front of you.
That's true.
So on the November 16th, 2 weeks away, I think, we have one of those gatherings is a Bohemian night where people can come and have dinner. We have live music. We have a chef there where we will use part of the crops that we grow up there to cook for the food that we will cook there. So you are invited to participate on that. So
Oh,
that
thank
concludes
you.
my presentation. If you have any question, please.
I mean, what an inspiring, just
Story.
inspiring story. I just have no words, but boy, I feel good right now. I feel hopeful. Thank you so much. Anybody else?
I'm just amazed at like how you just kept going, because not amazed, but you just kept going. Like you said, the hurricane came, and you went over here, you tried to here, they tried to arrest you, then you went over here, you tried to here, and there's two hurricanes, and you just kept it going, just kept it going. So no, this is what I want to do. So that it's in itself shows encouragement. When things get difficult, don't just say, "Oh, I can't do it because it blew it away. I don't want to do it anymore because I'm frustrated." But take that frustration and then keep moving. So I like that part of the story, and how your family probably were right there with you too, during that struggle and in feeling of defeat. I would say you feel defeated, when the hurricane came and keeps taking your dream away. So I like that part of the story. So thank you for that encouragement.
Thank you.
Eliseo, so when you were at Patrice Lumumba, were your classes in Russian?
Yes, we
Wow.
started. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, were your classes at Patrice Lumumba, were they in Russian? And how many
Yes,
languages do you speak?
yes.
I know.
It was when I came there, I didn't have any knowledge of the language, but they did have a really, really effective way to teach the language. Because I remember the first 6 months, it was like gibberish.
Yeah.
But after that, everything just came together, and on our first year, we were taking lecture with Russian speaker students at the same pace.
Wow.
So it was it was really intensive. We have like 16 hours a day classes
What?
during the first year, just the language.
Oh,
What?
It was really, really intensive.
I'm
Mm.
sure.
Wow.
Wow,
You're
you are inspiring.
right. And what an amazing mind. I mean,
Mhm.
to gather all this information, to understand it and then learn it and then put it into your brain to make it work for you. I mean, that's an amazing mind.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
now in the spring and summer, you know where to go to get your fresh
That's
vegetables
right.
That's right.
and eggs. And
Yes.
we buy fresh eggs from them, and they have chicken eggs, but they also have duck eggs if anybody's interested. And maybe we'll take orders before we have our social so that you can get some eggs while you're there if you'd like to have some good
Wow.
fresh chicken eggs or duck eggs. But thank you so much.
Yes,
Anybody
thank
else?
you.
Could you
All
speak
right,
a little bit?
Ashanti.
What? Tom has something.
Could you speak a little bit, Eliseo, about your reception when you first came to Charlotte?
My perception when I came first
When you
show,
reception, how did people treat you when you arrived?
oh, how do people treat me?
Yeah.
Well, I have a friend here that was the one who told me to invite me to come.
Uh-huh.
We went together to the Soviet Union for college. He went to the
Oh,
different city, but we were friends since we were teenagers.
Uh-huh.
oh,
When I came here, I came to his home. I stayed there, and he in some way introduced me to his uh, circle of friends,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I feel very welcoming when
good.
I get here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
good.
good.
Yes.
That's
Thank you.
good.
Well, Wendy is a very outgoing and friendly person. And I mean, we just were attracted to each other immediately, fighting against, who's ICE stuff. And, she was out on the streets marching and shouting and speaking to city council. We sat together that night at city council, and, you know, they are just amazing people, both of them. Their whole family. You're just gonna love going to their farm.
They
Good.
sound like a power couple.
They are. They are.